I don't care, man. I don't care.
Gonna do it live.
I also hate you.
It wouldn't be this, if you weren't ready, then we started.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So the only thing that matters today is that Call of Duty Warzone is coming out in approximately 2 hours, and I will be in a
There's
meeting.
a really complicated bit of messaging around this game.
Yeah,
like how it arrives, when it arrives.
Yeah, so if you don't have the game, it's free, but it's also
Which is amazing.
Which is great, but it's somewhere between an 80 and 100 gig download. Brace yourselves if you don't have high-speed internet.
Enjoy playing the game next Thursday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah. If you do have the game, it's a modest 15 to 20 gig download, depending on your platform.
So I haven't played Modern Warfare in a while, as you know.
Yeah,
And,
you should start those updates because there's a big one.
I did.
That's like 60 gigs or something.
So that one I don't. Well, that one won't go live. Well, actually, it said it was live.
No. There's a huge update that came out like 3 weeks ago or something that probably preloads.
That probably auto downloaded. What I do have is 2 downloads I didn't get. There was a multiplayer pack 2, which is about 9 gigs, and then a special ops pack 2, which I can't see the size, but I think it was 2 or 3 gigs, something like that. But
So I think it looks interesting. I haven't, until we play it, we'll see if it drags me away from Apex. But it looks good. The thing that I think they've done, and this is very Call of Duty-ish, is they've figured out a way so that effectively you can die in the game, but you're not out of the game, right? If you die early, you go to the gulag,
right.
And then you can come back.
I can't figure out how that works because there are 2 game modes,
right?
And one is literally called Battle Royale, and then the other one is called Plunder.
Yeah, so the Plunder one, from what I understand, it's got kind of like missions in it. Like there would be things like contracts you can get.
Spec Ops kind of thing.
Well, it kind of mixes in things like domination as well. It'll be like, go try to hold this point and then you'll get money, and then go try to kill this squad and you'll get money. And I think whoever gets the most money wins or something.
Well, I think money is applied to whatever you want to get. Like I think the whole point of Plunder is it's all money based. So if you want to get kill streaks or whatever they're calling them now, I think they call them skill streaks again. That you need, they're earned with money, or cash or whatever they call it. So.
Yeah. So it comes out today, and we can give her the old college try and
the old Call of Duty try,
and see how it shakes out. We'll who knows? Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it won't be. It seems like it's pretty well polished, which is good. It doesn't look like it's buggy.
Well, if it's this thing we think it is with all the maps all in one island or whatever, I think that's really cool.
It's supposed to be a huge map. 150 people play. Which they're saying they invited some people out and then they were like, let them play it early like they always do. And it sounds like they're eventually going to allow up to 200, which will be...
Oh, wow.
That's
unless you're on Wi-Fi, in which you can have 3. I don't know if you remember which game this was, but the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, or maybe it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. There was a really controversial scene that took place at an airport.
Yep.
Where you could kill civilians, and excuse me, it just occurred to me maybe I should not be downloading Call of Duty as we do the podcast. So that area, that airplane or airport scene or whatever became one of the more popular and famous Call of Duty maps of all time. And one thing I did notice is, and maybe this was something they added in season 2, or I don't know if it's part of this, but there's a new intro to the game. So if you just launch the game and let it sit there, it will play through like a movie kind of, where it's like an alternate scene that takes place during that airport thing, which is very interesting. And it sort of suggests that obviously that map's going to be, maybe it already is. Like I said, I've been playing the game, but like that's making a comeback too, which is kind of cool because that really is one of the best multiplayer experiences they've ever made. So
yeah, it's interesting. And what everybody who's played it so far says, it's kind of crazy that you're running around and all of a sudden you realize like, hey, wait a minute, I know this place. And then it's a map from.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of, as you know, kind of a Call of Duty goon. So
a little bit, never.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the things that they've done that I find to be very interesting is they'll take a map and they'll redo it with different conditions. So maybe it's nighttime or it's raining. There's a jungle map that they redid for Black Ops 4 that I think was from the original Black Ops probably or whatever, that they did like a flooded version of it. So all of the lower, because it's an up and down kind of a thing, all the lower areas are underwater now, and it makes it into like kind of a new place. And on the flip side of that, there's of course, as they remake maps, sometimes those maps change pretty dramatically, even though they're still familiar. Like the Nuketown one is a great example of that. Some of them are kind of faithful to the original. Some of them, like they call it in Black Ops 4, is like a winter version of it or whatever. And but they're still like these weird. They're like memories, like I've talked about. Like these places are like memories, So like one of the things I'm really looking forward to with this is that kind of thing. You stumble around a corner and you're like, oh, suddenly you're like, I know this place.
Yeah, it's like deja vu.
Yeah, I think that's neat.
One of
I
my
like that kind of thing.
favorite memories of Call of Duty. You might know the version. I can't remember what it was. It was. I'm almost positive it was a Black Ops. It might have been the first one. There was like a perk or kill streak or whatever where you could get into a little like drone and fly around and like not flashbang people, but like ping them, and then they'd show
so
up on.
People see them on their HUD.
Yes.
Yep.
So
particularly good in like the hardcore game that I play, because normally there is no HUD like that, and when you can suddenly see people, it's like, oh, here we go.
So this was, God, I was probably maybe in college. I mean, this is like 7, 8 years, 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that, whatever. But I used to. This is maybe not the highlight of my life, but what I would I'd always
it's
play
in the top 3.
I would always play with the same like group of guys. There was like 8 of us, and we'd always have a full room of 6. What I would do is I would put 2 claymores down and just bunker myself in a room, and I would just be drinking beer, like sitting on my couch, just flying that thing around all game, and no joke, get like 60 or 70 assists per game and like 2 kills. But I would just laugh my ass off just knowing that I'm like flashing everybody on the other team. And I got so much hate mail from people going, "You're such a not nice word," because every game is like
I have a comment that you alone in this world will appreciate. This literally I came up with this phrase. It makes no sense to anybody, but it will make total sense to you.
I'm ready.
And it is claymores, and they're equivalent, because depending on the game, sometimes you'll have like a bouncing Betty, whatever. They are, I call them the passive income of the Call of Duty world.
Yes, they are.
Right?
Yes, they are.
They sit there and they pay dividends.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am all about the cheap kills.
Oh yeah, so you can just imagine me just sitting on my couch, just drinking beer, putting claymores down, just laughing my ass off, just flying this drone, around. Just
the kill streaks are the best. Like there's in Black Ops 4, which I went back to. There's a if you get a high enough streak, I can't remember the number, you get this sniper helicopter that flies around and just snipes people on the ground. And like a claymore is nice because it's like a kill, usually get a kill. Sometimes if you're lucky to be the 2 guys or whatever. But this thing it sits up there for like 2 minutes or something. And it makes the most satisfying sound when it nails. It's like ka-chunk, ka-chunk. It's like and you can get 10 or 12 kills with that thing. It's the best.
Yeah. So we'll see how this shakes out.
Laughing.
This game looks it looks like my cup of tea, but we'll see. It's all going to come down to like the mechanics and the
latency. Frankly, and we'll see. So yeah. I know. I'm going to run
150 people on a map. It sounds like it on paper. It all sounds great. Let's just put it that way. We'll see how it plays.
Yeah. I mean, I aside from latency, which is a particular problem in this latest game, my biggest problem with Call of Duty multiplayer, I would say over time, is that many of the maps are just too big.
Then you're not going to like this one.
Well, but for the number of people, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I've tried it, but I've tried some of the battle royale stuff, but Call of Duty, I've never really spent time playing with enough people. So to make a big map like that makes sense. So maybe this is what makes it make sense.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just don't want to spend 30 minutes running across an empty plane and then over a bridge and through the woods. And
I don't think that's going to be the issue. They were saying most people who like win. Like in Apex Legends, depending on how you play it, like you can literally win the game with 1 kill or 2 kills.
Yeah, you just stay alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
No, I know,
strategy.
but
PUBG is majorly like that. This game sounds like, according to people who
listen,
have played it,
I've
like
had my ugly camper moments. I'm not going to deny it, but I don't want to sit in a hole and wait. And then, whatever number of minutes goes by and it's like, oh, there's 2 people left. And now I'll just be on the lookout for this last guy. And I'll get like the one cheap kill and win the game. Like, to me, I don't
think that's how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
It looks relatively fast paced. The people that were winning in like the little pre-demo thing they did had like 10 or 12 or even more kills.
Right. Okay.
So it doesn't appear to be like a real slog.
I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious actually. So hope everybody tuned in for Call of Duty Day, because that is what it is. It is.
I do have one thing to add, just a little story. As you know, I picked up Richard Campbell yesterday.
Yeah, where is he?
He's around. I could bring him over here in a second, but let me just tell this real
bring
quick.
him in. Just have him parade around like a show pony.
Yeah. Yeah. Like drive home from Newark, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get all the way to the street that leads into my neighborhood. I'm taking a left, and a car goes by. There's another car coming. I turn in, and I got rear-ended.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's honestly, it looks like the damage is minimal. The car's drivable. The rear hatch opens. It's fine. Like the bumper's just kind of, it's like off a little bit, like an inch off on the side, broke one of the little lights, whatever. Here's the kicker. Well, a couple of kickers. First of all, you need to imagine what I just described. It's I'm on a street and I'm turning, for me left, I guess for you left over here. Right. So I'm going like that. My car is on the other side of the road. He hit me on the rear driver's side of the car. Think about that. I'm taking a left. How do you hit me there? How do you hit me then?
You were turning left?
Yeah. Think about that. Just think about the logistics of this. Now, if I had been sitting on the road waiting to take a left, there's still room on the other side for him to have gotten by if he's going straight. It turns out the guy who hit me is 81 years old. And almost certainly should not be driving. He was very nice. The way we exchanged our information is that I used his phone to take a picture of my license and my bumper for him because he couldn't figure it out. And he asked me not to go through insurance because it has a high deductible or something. And we brought it to our guy and he was like, yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to go through insurance because if you take the bumper off, and the sensor's broken, and this other thing has happened.
We just talked about it. Were you in the BMW?
Yeah, it's not going to be $500. It's going to be $2,000.
Right.
And then he's going to be like, "I don't have $2,000," and now you can't go through insurance because you already took the bumper off the car. So I had to call him back and be like, "Look, I'm sorry, whatever." So anyway, this is the thing. You may recall my daughter rear-ended somebody.
Yes. Didn't
have a car for a while because it did an unbelievable amount of damage to her car, despite the fact she was going maybe 7 miles an hour. She got to drive the BMW because we had to drive the rental car because she's too young. So her punishment for ruining her car was she got to drive the BMW. It's classic Kelly.
Failing up.
The day that her car was fixed, we took the rental car, which was a Mercedes, interestingly, to the place to look at her car. And on the way home, I got rear-ended by somebody. And I had to really think about this. I haven't been rear-ended since 1993. I have now, I've now been in 2 accidents in like 6 months. Neither one of them was my fault. But Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania is the problem. I lived in Massachusetts where nobody drives properly. Never had a problem. I moved here, slowest idiots on earth, twice. I don't hit deer. I hit human beings. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
What I got out of this story is that it's Richard's fault.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. And on that note, let me see if I can get it. Hold on.
It's like summoning a child.
He might have headphones. Oh, sorry. He might have headphones.
That's fine. I'm not too. If he's.
I'm scared. No, hold on. We can make this happen.
Well, as Paul goes off, we'll cut to the elevator music. Dun, dun, dun. All right, that's Jeopardy music, actually. So, yeah, we'll just look at me because we're waiting for Paul and Richard to come back. I'm assuming that Richard came into town because he's really excited to play Call of Duty, and they're just going to be staying up all night eating Oreos, dunking some milk, and yeah, I see a shadow.
He was sitting in the dark like a specter for some reason.
Canadian. We are deeply dark people.
Wow, look at that. It's a Richard Campbell.
Yep.
Yeah.
I assume that Richard came into town to play Call of Duty with you. That's why you guys.
I know. I had to pause my download. I don't think he's aware of the new thing that's happening today. But
well, he's about to find out.
What are we doing?
We were talking about how it's your fault that Paul got rear-ended.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
that was actually Brad's conclusion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I believe it was the 81-year-old guy who probably shouldn't be driving.
Yeah. The nature of the impact sort of is indicative. I think he was stopping. He just misjudged the stopping distance.
Well, maybe he got it right. He said,
Well, that's why he thought that blue thing in front of him was the sky.
Yeah.
But it was a car.
It's like, yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that article Paul wrote. I'm just gonna rear-end him.
He was probably an Apple fan.
Chromebook guy. That's exactly what it is. So,
Right.
all right. Well, cool. Good seeing you. Good seeing you, Richard.
All right, man.
You guys have fun today. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I'm sure we'll cause some trouble.
I'm sure you will too. So,
We visited a winery yesterday.
Yeah.
oh, how cute.
It was nice. It was like the movie. What's that movie called? I can't remember. Sideways.
Yeah. I assume you're making like an 80s montage video and then.
Yeah, it ends with us jumping in the air and we're like, it just pauses right there.
Exactly. And so that wraps up for today, folks. We'll catch you right back here tomorrow.